Welcome back to the Best of Pest Marketing Podcast. I'm excited to introduce you today to a pest control owner based out of Kansas, Emily Kriley with Pink Pest Solutions. Her business caught my attention because her branding is bold and memorable. I'm sure the business name gives it away, but her branding is pink and she has a bright pink truck, shirts, and it just really stands out in neighborhoods, on the road. So much so that I saw it one time online and months later remembered it and decided to reach out to Emily to chat about it. So, Emily, before we get into your background, I would love to start here. Tell me about the pink truck and how you've had to get promotional items and swag to hand out to people who approach it.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the pink branding in whole, I just set out to be memorable. This is like a super saturated market. There's hundreds of pest control companies, I'm sure, and I just wanted to be distinguished from the competition. But yeah, no, it is memorable. I just had a client last week who they saw us at a trade show or something a year ago and took a magnet, and a whole year later now they're just starting up a quarterly pest control service. So the goal was to be memorable. It worked. So it is kind of funny. People ask me, like, is pink my favorite color? Is it something to do with breast cancer awareness? Is it just like a girl power thing? Do you only hire females? And none of that's it. It's just I wanted to be memorable and I wanted my company to be distinguished from all the other companies in town.
Yeah, you guys have definitely made a brand that is so memorable. There are so many pest control companies today, and branding can be the last thing on their minds. But like you said, even with that trade show, how somebody remembered you a year later, and you're not even that deep in business yet. You're going to continue to build that over the years, and it's going to continue to compound.
Yeah, it's great. So there's a strong sense of community amongst like local pest control operators here. And I talk to so many other companies and they have a magnet on their truck. They really don't do a lot of branding. They're not on social media at all. And I'm like, you're missing a big part of the puzzle. Like, do something.
Yes. Yeah. It's like free marketing once it's on there,
Yeah.
like once one and done. So, okay. Well, Emily, I would love to get your backstory. Tell us a little bit about your background and what led you to starting Pink Pest Solutions.
Honestly, I just got into pest control by accident. So I had an MBA in healthcare administration, and I had done healthcare related stuff for like 7 years. And then when I moved to Kansas City, I was just like, I got to take the first job I can get, and took a job as an office manager for a pest control company. Ended up working there for a long time, getting involved in most parts of the business, and that was kind of my introduction to pest control, and also just how I learned that I love being in the home service industry.
Yeah, it's funny how a lot of people in the pest industry just fall into it.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever met a kid that was like, "Oh, when I grow up, I want to be just like you." Like it's just not one of those things that comes up. It seems like everyone just falls into it, or they have family or something.
Yeah, no, totally. So you worked in the pest control industry. You decided to finally branch out on your own. What was the thing that made you finally pull the trigger on that?
Truthfully, like my husband and I both got laid off like in the same year, and it was a situation where we both different companies, two different mass layoffs, and we both got caught up in it. And we had been talking about opening our own company for a while before then, and I thought, like, this is our sign. Like, we're in our mid 30s. If we don't do it now, like, when are we going to do it? So, yeah, things just kind of fell into place, I would say.
Yeah, that really is an opportunity that you can seize if you're willing. So I'm glad you were able to start your own thing, and that can be so rewarding. I know you're about a year into business right now. Is that right?
Yeah, a little over a year. Opened March of last year.
Yeah, what is business looking like right now?
It's intensely busy. Like everybody says, like, oh, don't wait too long to hire, and I definitely waited too long to hire. I'd say business is booming. Like the first 6 months were slow. I got like maybe a little nervous that first 3 months, but right now we're at a point where I actually have all my marketing turned off because I'm looking for our third person and I can't find them fast enough, you know? So
Wow.
that's a good problem to have, but also for me personally, I've worked almost every day of the week and the weekends and the evenings since March probably.
Oh my gosh.
And you're in Kansas City, Pink Pest is hiring. You gotta wear pink though. That's the thing. Not everybody wants to wear pink. It's a requirement.
I tell people in business all the time that business is just one big problem. There's always going to be some type of problem. And you are right. You are in the right type of problem right now. It can be overwhelming, but at least you're not having to worry about where the next paycheck is going to come from. And you're in a stage of growth and scale. Well, I would love to talk a bit about your brand.
Yeah.
Where did the pink brand come from? And what was the vision from day one? And did it evolve or did it stay the same?
No, I actually was incredibly indecisive. Like I kept notes on my phone and I probably had like 40 different name ideas that I slowly kind of picked one by one and ruled them out for different reasons and asked my friends. And then I would say even weeks before we opened, like I had my logo, my website, my uniforms, and I was just nervous that the feminine branding might not hit because there's no other company in Kansas City that does the feminine branding. I was like, well, maybe they see something I don't. Like maybe this is a bad idea. But I just, like I said, it just felt memorable, and so I went for it. Um, I really felt like the no turning back point was when I wrapped my truck hot pink because that was kind of an investment, you know. So, um, yeah, and I would say even when I started, I didn't lean super hard into the pink. Like our uniforms were white, and I had like one pink uniform that I used when I did sales, but like so many people liked it and commented on it. I was like, oh, all of our uniforms should just be pink because people get so excited about it. And then like the little touches, like I think we had talked about the fly swatters. Yeah, we find so many unique, like cool little swag things in hot pink, and people get excited about that too. Funnily, kids, I mostly give the fly swatters to kids. I love kicking it at a trade show and just handing the fly swatters to kids and just watching them like hit each other and their parents and causing mayhem. It's great.
Yeah, you were telling me a little bit about how the fly swatter got started and how kids would approach your truck. I would love for you to tell the audience about what has happened with that pink truck.
Yeah, so I mean, the pink truck, it's people remember it, which is nice. Like I definitely get a lot of calls of like, "Hey, we saw you at the gas station, we saw you at the neighbor's car." Uh, you know, it's just easier to remember. It's a pink truck and it's Pink Pest, and if you Google any version of Pink Pest, like you're gonna find us eventually. Even though we don't spend like huge dollars on SEO, like people have an easy time finding us. And then yeah, like the fly swatters and swags. Weirdly, kids get excited about the hot pink truck. I don't think it has nothing to do with pest control. I actually had a kid walk up to me a few weeks ago. It was one of my friends' kids, and they were like, "Is this an ice cream truck?" And I was like, "No, it's not nearly as fun as that." But yeah, I do. Weirdly, we have a lot of our clients are schools and daycares, and if the kids are coming and going and see me, I give them pink fly swatters, and that's always fun. Oh, we take it through parades. I actually have a giant inflatable, like Halloween decoration spider. We put that on top of the truck. We got bubble machines going, and we play Itsy Bitsy Spider.
My
And
gosh.
yeah, it's just fun, like the kids get really excited about it. And then if we're lucky, the parents will get their phone out and take a picture when we're doing all those parades and stuff. So, yeah.
I mean, you're speaking directly to their children who are getting excited. You're doing something different. You're playing a children's song. That is 100% going to capture the parents' attention, which is obviously your target demographic.
Yeah.
Creative branding is one of my favorite parts of marketing because it's one of those things. If you make that investment up front and you were so smart to do it right when you got started, because it will just continue to compound over time. You're already having people calling and saying, "Hey, I saw you at the gas station." You're not doing anything but doing what you would already be doing. And it was an investment up front, but you're already starting to see that investment pay out and you're just getting started.
That's why I say, so like I do have like several friends locally that they're solo operators and they're happy to do that. Like there's lots of those people out there. I'm like, man, just wrap your truck, if nothing else, like, wrap it and name it something memorable. Like it doesn't have to be hot pink. It just has to be not a truck with a magnet, because there's 1,000 trucks with a magnet out there and you forget them as soon as you drive past them.
Yeah, and most industries have magnets on their trucks. So you're also competing with all of the other industries outside of pest too,
Yeah,
versus having that truck wrap. It is incredible.
thank you.
I was actually in Philadelphia recently, and when I landed at the airport, I was driving down the road and there were billboards, and it was all personal injury attorneys because, as everyone knows, they make a lot of money and they can spend a ton on marketing. And I saw probably six different billboards, but only one was actually memorable. The rest, I was like, "What are you doing? You're wasting your money." Whereas one, I remember the name, Top Dog Law, and it
Yeah,
had a picture of him and his dog, and it said, "We are our bark does bite," and I was like,
good. I'm
"So good."
fine, so if you think of anything, let me know. I'm mulling a lot over, but no, it's kind of funny. Every metro has like one of those lawyers. Like in Kansas City, it's Jungle Law, and their ads are just so ridiculous that I've never needed a personal injury attorney. I've never needed an attorney of any kind, really, but I remember them if nothing else. So,
And in the future, if you need one and you go online, you see them, you're like, "Ooh, I remember like liking them and them making me smile." Like you already have those good feelings. Yeah, that's why like branding is so important when you're in a sea of competition. How do you stand out? Because even if they find you online, let's say you show up number two, three on Google, and people, you're just like a sea at that point of names. But then you click on the website, you have memorable branding, you create emotional connection with someone. The interaction with your site, like users stay on there longer and people are more likely to reach out to you if you invoke a good emotion. Even seeing you on the website as a female technician is so different than what I see on other pest control websites. It's just something that stands out.
yeah.
So
I
I
think
love that this is your thing.
Yeah, I think in like with the branding and when I was kind of thinking through things, I did want to be approachable. I think that's a big factor in this, is just feeling trustworthy and approachable. And in like the pest control industry, like people don't always have the best perception, or they don't have the highest, how do I say this nicely? They don't have the highest expectations of who's going to show up. Like they might be really good at killing bugs, but maybe they're a little rough around the edges. But I just really wanted to like say like this is the opposite of that. Like this is, customer service forward. I like to say yard side manner, because when I was doing healthcare stuff, we talk so much about bedside manner, not as customer service. Like in pest control, they talk about customer service, and bedside manner is a little different. And I would say like yard side manner is somewhere in between. Like people definitely have an emotional response to bugs. They have fears of pesticide. They, distrust, because what we're delivering isn't always super tangible, right? You don't see it, you don't smell it. So yeah, I'd say like the customer service angle, the education angle, it all kind of goes hand in hand.
100%. And you being a female pest control owner too, you kind of hit it on the head before people even get to that part of like, "Hey, yeah, I am. And I'm proud of it. And I'm doing something different." So I'm curious, like, what the day to day reality of being a female owner in pest control looks like. What do people assume? And is there any way you have to push back?
Well, that's a good question. I would say there's pros and cons. I would say overall the pros outweigh the cons. I will say, like, sometimes I wonder, is my expertise being questioned more? I would say if you're a woman in this industry, you should especially know what you're talking about, because you might get questioned more. So, like, I've been an exterminator for a decade. I'm an associate certified entomologist. I'm the Kansas advocate for the women in pest control. I'm in all the clubs. I definitely I feel confident in my ability to say I know a lot about how to kill bugs, but I definitely get caught up in conversations in sales or at the door in the yard, and I just sometimes wonder, am I getting questioned more because I am a woman? Though I'll say I don't think that's a problem for us overall. Like those are one-offs. I will say I don't think anybody who has a problem with having a female technician wouldn't call my company. So maybe I just don't see it. Maybe if I was working for another company, I would get a harder time. But truthfully, I'd say the branding even helps there. Like we have the best customers, honestly.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
This is very much a local company. I think the people that seek us out, they are intentionally seeking out a local company. I do get a lot of comments from people just appreciating not just that it's local, but that it's woman owned. Um, yeah, like I would just say like my customers are the best.
That's so great. I think people who really care about local companies will
Mhm.
really resonate with what you're building and your brand. I know being a woman who's also an owner, I hear a lot of women talk about being scared to go into male dominated fields. And my industry can be quite male dominated from an owner perspective, too. I'm curious what you would tell a woman who is thinking about getting into this industry, but is intimidated by how male dominated it is.
Oh, I would say jump on in. The water's fine. So like I said, when I sometimes things I hear are like, I don't know how you do that. Like it's so, because it's gross, sweaty, hard work. But it's funny when I was doing all my healthcare work, I would say being a nurse or a nurse's aide is much more difficult and much more physical. But those are almost always women filling those positions.
Mhm.
So, and like from a physicality standpoint, there's nothing holding a woman back from doing this work. Um, yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to get into it. Like the thing that will make it the most difficult is that people might ask you more questions and I would say even that's getting better though. Like I remember when I first went out and treated some homes like 10 years ago, it seemed like it was more likely people to be like, "Oh, you're like I didn't expect a girl." And nobody was ever rude about it or anything. Uh, but yeah, I would say even in just the 10 years I've been in it, I've seen more and more women get involved.
Yeah, that is so great. I think more women need to come into pest control. We have a little bit different of a touch when it comes to business and how we run things. And one is not wrong or bad. Like the male like version of it is great, and
Yeah.
so is the female version too.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Just jump in if you're on the fence about whether you want to start a pest control company and you're worried just because you're a woman.
Yeah.
Emily is a great example of why you should do it.
Yeah, I would say like don't think like, "Oh, is this will I be uncomfortable because it's male dominated?" I would say like, "Do you like talking to people? Do you like solving problems? Do you like being outside?" Like it sounds like you would like this job. So, come on over.
Come on over. Well, Emily, I'm curious. You're roughly 1 year in. What does year two look like for you?
I am excited to get back to sales. Like honestly, I've been so busy killing bugs that I've hardly been selling. It's been crazy. But that's kind of how this whole thing has been. Like I'll have a really awesome stellar sales month and then I'll be like so busy servicing those accounts, like the next month will be slower. And now that I have more people helping me, it kind of is leveling out a little bit, but I'm really hoping in year 2 I can spend more time working on my business and not in my business because I'm definitely really in the thick of it right now.
Yeah, the first few years of business are the hardest, I swear.
Yeah, and I knew it would be hard. Like when I started this, I kind of told my husband, I was like, okay, so like, here's the situation. Like, I can go get a job. It'll probably be a good job and it'll probably be a good life. Or we could be really uncomfortable for like 3 or 4 years and you could basically be like a single dad and let me do this thing, and I think it'll play out in the long run. Or, one thing that's nice about pest control, if it doesn't play out, you could always sell it. Almost always, there's an exit strategy. Um, but yeah, he was really supportive. We're in it for the long game for sure.
I love that. Local family owned businesses are my favorite. I feel like it is such an important a part of our economy
Mhm.
now more than ever to really show up, invest in your local communities, be in it for the long run, and have stellar customer service. Family owned businesses, in my opinion, are just so impactful to the communities they serve.
Yeah, and I think pest control is just such a great thing to get into for so many reasons. One reason is and it can be a pro or a con. Like this was a factor in my branding too, is just the barriers to entry are so low. Like the lowest barrier is like a license that probably cost, I don't know, less than $100, a truck, a $15 chap and tank, like different level of pest control for sure, but the barrier to entry is so low that one person can go do have a business that's their own, and if they work hard, they can make a good living just as a solo operator. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Emily, and sharing with us about your pink branding and your pink truck. Where can people find you and follow along?
Yeah, you could look us up online, pinkpestkc.com. You can, we're all over social media. I would say a lot of our customers find us via social media. We're on all the top ones, even TikTok now. We just opened TikTok this summer.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for listening to Best of Pest Marketing Podcast. If you want to see Emily's branding, please head over to her website, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and show her some love there. And if you have any questions, can they reach out to you personally about your branding and how you navigated that?
Of course, I love talking to like other business owners and yeah, sharing our secret sauce and helping people work through problems and having more people that I can call later is always great. So, yeah, of course, they can reach out to me. It's Emily at pinkpestkc.com.
Lovely. Yes, I agree. Having that community of owners with you just makes it so much better. Awesome. Well, we will see you guys next time. Thank you.